What's going on, knuckleheads? Welcome to our Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios post-fight reaction discussion. I want to apologize to you guys, man. We weren't live last week. As you guys can see, we've been promoting the heck out of FightersRep 10, which is coming up. It looks like the government of California is finally allowing us to put some fights together. And so, that's kind of where my concentration is. That being said, I just got done watching a fight that I was pretty excited about, a fight that I did not predict. But I did think that Tank Davis was going to win this fight. And it was a good fight. It was a good fight while it lasted. Let me see here. It was a good fight while it lasted. I thought the first round was kind of uneventful, to be honest with you guys. They were kind of feeling each other out. I kind of scored that first round an even 9-9 round. Following the first round, I thought Mario Barrios boxed very smart. I gave him the second, third, and fourth round. He was just being very conservative, staying behind his jab. I thought, landing a little bit more. I mean, he wasn't blowing Tank Davis out or anything like that. But he was just landing more shots. Perhaps Davis was landing back, some effective shots as well. But I just felt like Mario Barrios had a bit more volume and was doing a bit more in the second, third, and fourth round. I think Tank Davis, and you can hear, Floyd Mayweather yelling at him from the audience, telling him what to do and stuff. But I just felt like, and good on Tank Davis. Tank Davis figured out that if I keep fighting this way, this guy's just going to outbox me. I mean, he's too big. He's too long. And, I praise Tank Davis. Let me tell you something. We make fun of a lot of boxers on this channel for not fighting the best guys. And I still think Tank Davis's resume is abysmal, right? I still think it's abysmal. But that's not just him. That's, almost all boxers, right? I mean, when you look at their resumes versus like UFC fighters who are fighting the best right from the outset, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's 25 fights now with 24 knockouts after today. And, I think Mario Barrios is the best guy he's ever fought. So, kind of what I want to say is, I kind of praise Tank Davis for taking this fight. Not because I think Mario Barrios is a fantastic opponent, but because he's so much bigger than him, and Tank's moving up in weight, and I give Tank credit. Because if this fight, if Tank hadn't made the adjustment in the fifth round, this could have been a long night for Tank Davis. But I think what Tank Davis saw in Barrios was a guy that could not hang with his sixth gear, right? Mario Barrios' sixth gear was Tank Davis's fifth gear, if that makes sense. Just what happened in the fifth round was Tank said, you know what, I can't keep playing pity-pat with this guy. I got to turn it on. I got to turn it up. I got to kick it into sixth gear. He did just that. He started pressing Barrios. Barrios had to retreat. Obviously not as effective boxing on the back foot as he was throughout the beginning of the fight. And it's in that chaos. When Tank Davis is tracking you down and using his otherworldly athleticism, which we're going to talk about in a moment, because his athleticism is just ridiculous. But it's when he has you retreating from that otherworldly athleticism, and he's creating that chaos, and he's got you in that hurricane, is when he starts hitting you with the debris, right? He gets you in this tornado. Of chaos and athleticism that you just can't anticipate unless you're as athletic as he is, which nobody is. And the proverbial tornado that's picking up cows and trailers and, RVs and pickup trucks and everything else and whirling them around, it starts landing. And that's kind of what happens. Barrios trying to get out the way, instead of boxing, now he's on the defensive. He's trying to retreat. He's at his athletic edge, trying to get the heck out the way. And Davis still has more to give. And, good enough boxing, ridiculous athleticism and reflexes, and knows how to use it. And that's what makes Gervonta Davis not only extremely effective, but so fun to watch. So fun to watch. And, it was in that fifth round. It was in that fifth round that he turned it up, you guys. It was in that fifth round that he turned it up and turned it on and took the fight over. And from there, it was a wrap. I mean, for me, I was saying to myself, well, in the rounds 2 and 3, I was like, whatever. But then in round 4, I said to myself, Tank's going to have to fight a different fight. Because if he stays on this track, he's just going to get outpointed. He's going to get outpointed. And it was just at that moment. I mean, again, you got to give the guy credit. It was in that moment that the switch flipped and he said, I know I got to do something different. He went out there in the 5th round. He did something different, and it was marvelous. It was a marvelous performance. Starts putting it on Barrios in the 5th round, continues that in the 6th round, continues that in the 7th round. I got now, so I got an even round in the 1st, Barrios winning rounds 2, 3, and 4, and then Tank just sweeping the fight from the 5th round on. I gave him round 5, 6, and 7. In the 8th round, Barrios, credit to him, had to pull out, El Azteca for real, because Tank swooped in. I believe he swooped in and hit him with a right check hook, right? I mean, this guy's basically, using the inverse of Floyd Money Mayweather's move since he's a southpaw. Right check hook right off the temple, and beautifully timed, right? Because it was, I believe it was while Barrios, usually Barrios was, playing good defense. He had his hand up. He put his hand out to push Tank away, who was swarming him. And it was at that moment that he took his hand away from his temple, that he got caught in the temple. He got dropped. He got back up. He got dropped again, this time by a left hook. Which goes to show you Tank Davis's ridiculous power. I mean, this is a guy way bigger than him. Tank Davis is moving up in weight. And, he put it on this guy. Dropped him twice in the 8th round. Barrios survived. I gotta give, big credit to Barrios. Big cojones. He survived. He got up. He kept on pushing. 9th round came. Barrios made it more of a fight, but I still gave the edge to Tank. But he was trying to claw his way back into this fight. He was brawling a little bit more with Tank. 10th round, the same thing happened. Then the 11th round came in, and this is where it was curtains. This is where Tank Davis decided to end the night on an absolutely beautiful, I believe it's an uppercut to the solar plexus, you guys. He was pressing, he was essentially, it reminds you of when Mayweather fought, kind of the way Mayweather just fought Logan Paul as well, but when he fought Conor McGregor, just hands up, walking him down, no respect for anything coming back his way, which is impressive considering Tank, again, is moving up against a guy who's known as a pretty big puncher in Barrios. But just walking forward, not a lot of respect for what Barrios is throwing back. Tank did get hit a few times, but never looked hurt. As Barrios was trying to make space, Tank almost acted like he was giving way, right? Like he was giving him space. Turned his shoulder and then, recoiled and came back with a beautiful, I believe it was a left uppercut, you guys, right to the solar plexus. And I mean, Barrios was not getting up from that. Or not recovering from that. I mean, he got up, he landed that thing to the body, and I was like, damn, that's a nasty punch, you guys. I mean, beautiful uppercut, placed right on the breadbasket almost, man. I was really impressed. Barrios did get up from that, though, just barely. Tank swarmed him. Barrios was kind of, stumbling all over the place. And that's a wrap. Tank Davis, beautiful performance. 25 wins, 24 knockouts. This guy's a superstar. But my only problem remains. I mean, I don't want to say he's fought nobody, but man, it's time for him. After this performance, it's time for him to go after the champs. It's time for him to go after the champs, the real champs, in whatever division he decides to campaign at. I mean, I guess today was against Barrios, was super lightweight. I guess that's what they call it, super lightweight. Whatever. He needs to go after, the big dogs in this division, in the one underneath it, whatever. We want to see him in some great fights. It's time for him to push himself to the limit. It's time for him, it's time for him to show us what else he can do. So that's pretty much my thoughts on that fight. I haven't watched the Lomachenko fight. I think it's happening right now. If anybody wants to update me as to what's going on with the Lomachenko fight, I greatly appreciate it. I figured maybe after I got off here, I'll go and watch the replay of that or something. But before I do that, obviously I got to go to the comment section. First and foremost, I want to let you guys know again. FightersRep 10, it's going down August 13th. That's a Friday night. If you're anywhere in California, get your tickets at FightersRep.com, or even if you're not in California, get your tickets at FightersRep.com. We've got an absolutely stacked to the brim card for August 13th. If you can't make it, you can join the channel. It's just $4.99 a month. It's 16 cents a day, I believe. You can watch it. You can cancel anytime, but we hope you stay on board. Join the channel. If it's your first time here, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to join Knucklehead Nation. So let's see what we have in here. We got Alex Mark. What's up, brother? John Wick. George Estrada. What's going on, my brothers? Appreciate you guys being in here, man. Sorry I haven't been going live I didn't go live last week. Just been crazy busy getting ready for FightersRep 10 and, bringing you guys what I believe are the best fights in the world that you're going to see on August 13th. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. Both the Anderson Silva sons are going to be on the card, but that's just the undercard. We got Chris Cully taking on a Glory veteran and Justin Moss in our main event. We've got UFC veteran Terrion Ware taking on Ardavan Moini in an absolute banger. We've got Eddie Action Jackson, a guy, built like an absolute superhero, taking on Connor Bracken, coming down from the Woodman Muay Thai gym up in Northern California, man. Can't wait to see them throw down. And, of course, we got Mikey 2 Raw Shaw taking on John the Caveman Garcia. It's going to be Stockton versus Inglewood. And you guys, definitely want to tune in for that one. So Alex Mark says, bruh moment. I'm not sure what you mean by that, bruh moment. John Wick says, damn, Tank can crack. Oh, he sure can. He sure can, John. John Wick says, Tank needs a real top-level guy, Devin Haney or possibly Teofimo Lopez. Maybe you think he should fight next. I want him to date to be great, really great. These kids, man. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying there, John Wick. Tank needs a real top-level guy. Devin Haney, probably maybe. Who you think he should fight next? I want him to date. Yeah, I mean, somebody, man. A big name. He needs a big name, man. Tank needs a big name already. I mean, that's it. John Wick says, meant dare, damn, autocorrect. But yeah, Tank turned it up in late rounds for sure. But Barrios would have won if it went to the judges. Nah, man. Come on. The uppercut to the body, beautifully timed and placed perfectly. Where's everyone at? Listen, guys, I don't think at all Barrios would have won if that went to the judges. Not at all. I don't think that at all. What it do, says my boy George Estrada. Tank best weight, I think, is 135, says John Wick. I agree with that. Kaka TV says, I'm 100% confident Taylor knocks out Tank. Well, I think that would be a fantastic fight. Why not Jose Ramirez versus Tank? That's a fun fight. I'm down for all of those fights, man. I'd love to see all those fights. John Wick says Lomachenko brutal TKO. Is that what happened? Is that what happened tonight, guys? Somebody fill me in on that one. Lomachenko. Let's see what's going on. Dominates Masayoshi Nakatani in 9th round TKO victory. And somebody's putting on Twitter already, who would you pick in a Tank versus Lomachenko fight at 135 pounds? I would love to watch that. I would love to watch that. John Wick says Taylor will get bullied. I don't know, man. Taylor's a tough customer. I'd also love to see Regis Prograis get a shot at Tank Davis. Maya Abdullah, what's going on, Maya? Says Mario Barrios gained a lot of fans with his performance and toughness. Lots of respect to him. I guess, I agree with that. But Tank is a Tank. What else can you say? That's true. That's true. Tank's a beast, man. Listen. I'm going to share something with you guys as soon as I read a couple more of these comments, because you guys got some good comments going on right now. The real Ricky Tan says, fight was pretty easy to predict. Barrios is a great fighter, but just doesn't have enough pop to keep guys off of him. But, he's actually known for having good power. I just think it's not enough to keep Tank off of him. John Wick says, yes. Maya Abdullah says, Loma scored a few knockdowns. Loma looked excellent. I got to check him out. Loma will school Davis, says John Wick. I mean, that's definitely a possibility too, but maybe that's a fight they're willing to make now that Loma's had a couple losses. What I wanted to share with you guys was what worried me about this fight, right, was Tank Davis's performance in the Yuriorkis Gamboa fight, which I thought was nowhere near as good as his performance tonight. And Tank Davis's performance in the Leo Santa Cruz fight, which I'll be honest with you guys, even though he had a spectacular knockout at the end, absolutely brutal finish, he didn't look good in that fight up until that knockout. Tonight, against a bigger guy, against a more dangerous guy, I think we saw Tank Davis level up. I think what we're starting to see now is Tank Davis's talent meeting up with his discipline. I feel like he was lacking discipline in the past. And he was lacking discipline in the past, and he had to, rely on his talent. Excuse me, not anymore. Not anymore. This guy's the real deal. If he continues to work hard, I see him being a real problem. Excuse me, guys. I'm all messed up. Krista Kim in the house says that was a good fight. What's going on, Krista? Man, you guys. Excuse me, Krista Kim, fantastic trainer. Going to be involved, in my opinion, in some of the best fights you guys are going to see on August 13th. We're working on getting one of his guys a title fight with the IKF. And we're working on another fight with another one of his guys that I think will be one of the most entertaining fights of the night at FightersRep 10. And so we're blessed to have you in here, Krista, man. Appreciate you being in here, Coach Krista. He says that was a good fight. I agree with him. The real Ricky Ten says, did you see the Reloaded? Not sure what you mean there. Tank has a solid chin because he took some shots, says Maya Abdullah. I agree, Maya. I agree. Top rank special for Loma. That could be it. That could be it. You know what Top Rank likes to do. Let's see. Who said that? Who said that? Where is that? I can't find that comment anymore. Oh, yeah, the real Ricky Tan, man. You're a smart dude. Shout out to Jill Lopez, man. Thank you so much for the what do they call these things anymore? I don't even remember. The donation, super chat, the super chat. Thank you so much, man. He says, can you confirm that Barrios was a regular champion? Let me see. I'll confirm that for you right now. I think he was. So yeah, he won the WBA regular super lightweight title tonight. Did Tank Davis from Mario Barrios? WBA regular super lightweight title, and Josh Taylor, of course, took issue with that. He doesn't like the fact that, him being the actual title holder, that there's a regular title holder, because, he earned that shit. So, but, listen, as a promoter, I can tell you all day long, these sanctioning bodies or whatever they are, they just, they're just here to make money, to charge for their belts, to have their ranking system. Each one thinks it's better than the next. Whatever. I don't deal with all that. At FightersRep, we're sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission for the pros, and on the undercard for the amateurs, we use the IKF, which is the only sanctioning body allowed in California to do striking events, which is Muay Thai and kickboxing. That's the only sanctioning body. All our amateur titles are dual FightersRep IKF titles. They will never be anywhere else anything else unless the IKF disappears. Oh man, even our pro titles now. We're actually, our main event on August 13th between Chris Cully and Justin Moss is a dual FightersRep IKF title. I only like to incorporate the IKF, which is our only sanctioning body, in order to add legitimacy to the belt, because it's almost like a third person is saying, George, I agree with this title fight being a title fight. And I appreciate that. Let me see what's going on here. Better fight Tank quick. Age is on Tank's side. I agree with Coach Krista on that one, brother. Loma needs that fight right away next. I think Tank should make that fight next. Kamikaze says Tank got Canelo's power because he was wearing the no boxing, no life gloves. No way! I didn't even notice that. What, is that true? Kamikaze, is that true? Somebody confirm that for me. The real Ricky Tan, brother, he says, it was pretty much Team Loma saying that his shoulder was the main reason he lost versus Lopez. Shaking my head. I'm not a fan of the excuses. A lot of these guys, they go into fights, they've got injuries. Just about every fighter goes into a fight with some sort of nagging or serious or other kind of injury. And, when people make excuses the way Lomachenko did, the way Deontay Wilder did, immediate turnoff for me and most people that subscribe to this channel that are part of Knucklehead Nation. So, not a lot of love for that kind of comment, those kind of excuses. John Wick says, but Loma's older and slowing down in his twilight, I believe, but Loma has the experience. Loma's still a beast, man. Loma's a beast, and I think that would be a great fight for Tank Davis. A tough fight for Tank Davis. Lalo's in here, says, did Canelo fans got excited when he beat Rocky Fielding? Keep it real. Yeah, they got excited, but come on. You're going to compare Canelo Alvarez? Wait a minute, Lalo. Look, I want to be friends with you, bro. I want to be friends with you, Lalo. I want to be friends. I want you to be here. I want you to feel welcome. But are you trying to draw a comparison between Canelo Alvarez's resume and Tank Davis's resume? I just want to understand what we're doing here so we can understand each other, because nobody in boxing other than the legendary Manny Pacquiao right now is active with a resume that's anywhere near the resume of Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has fought everybody. So sure, he's fought a Rocky Fielding and a Avni Yildirim and, so on and so forth. But he's also fought Triple G twice, Austin Trout when he was still really good, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, Floyd Mayweather when, he was still a baby and Mayweather was the grand freaking master, the shogun of boxing. Who else? We can go on for Sergey Kovalev. This guy's knocking out light heavyweights, bro. Now he's talking about Bivol or Beterbiev, which I thought was ridiculous. I thought just even bringing up Bivol or Beterbiev was ridiculous. And now I'm thinking to myself, he can beat both of them. He can beat both of them. Can't wait, George. I'm pumped for it, says John Wick. Maya Abdallah says, Tank made great adjustments, avoiding the jab. Mayweather's a great second coach telling Tank to turn up the aggression. I agree, man. I agree, Maya. Maya, I could not agree more. Mayweather, for all his, acting, and the rich guy and playing the heel, he's a brilliant boxing mind. He's a brilliant mind in general, I think. But he's a brilliant boxing mind. He knows what he's doing. And had Tank not turned up the heat, things might be a bit different. I still think he would have figured it out on his own and won. But definitely the urgency to turn it up, I think, was necessary at that time when he did it in the 5th round. Let's see what's going on here. Dragon of the West says, who is better, Tank or Loma? At this point, it's hard to say. I think Loma, when he was priming, which I'm not sure if he's priming anymore, was just a brilliant technician. I mean, I still think Loma can beat anybody. I got to see what he looked like tonight. I didn't get to watch the fight yet. But, I think Loma, when he's firing on all cylinders, is just impossible to beat. It's just close to impossible to beat, I thought even in the Teofimo Lopez fight, he turned it on in the second half of the fight and took over that fight. I thought Lopez won the first half of that fight, maybe nicked the last round. That's how he was able to get the decision there. Very close fight. But I think Lomachenko, is still brilliant, is still special. He's a special athlete. He's a special boxing mind. I would love to see him in Tank Davis fight because I think despite the fact that Loma's probably more technically sound, and he's also athletic himself, he is a bit older now. He's had a million fights, and I think Tank Davis's ridiculous athleticism and reflexes and good boxing skills as well, could shore the gap of technique advantage that Lomachenko has over him. I would love to see that fight. I got to see Lomachenko tonight, but I thought Tank looked the best he's ever looked tonight. I really do. I mean, I thought Tank didn't look great against Gamboa, didn't look that great against Leo Santa Cruz before the knockout. I thought he looked great tonight, man. I think he turned a corner tonight. That's my opinion. Sorry, guys. I'm having issues with my throat right now. Not a superstar, says Jill Lopez. Lalo says, Tank only chance to beat Loma is by a lucky knockdown. Or knocking him out. Bobby Caban says, yes, he had Canelo gloves. Wow, man. Wow, dude. Canelo is the freaking man, bro. John Wick says, you lose. If you hurt, pull out. But the better man wins. Except Barrios is a humble. That's how a boxer should lose. I agree with that. Could Canelo and Manny Pacquiao ever happen? Nah, man. Nah, man. You don't want that. I mean, Manny Pacquiao shouldn't even be at 147. He's like a little guy. And Canelo Alvarez is knocking out light heavyweights and could probably knock out cruiserweights and heavyweights. I wouldn't want that fight to happen. Canelo's a monster, you guys. Latino for Life says, haters always trying to downplay Canelo's greatness. Canelo lives in the haters' minds rent-free. I got to agree with that one, man. Did you just say Canelo can beat Beterbiev? Marco Martinez. I would have never thought that, Marco, until after Beterbiev's most recent performance. I want you to go watch it. Beterbiev, guys, is approaching his 40s. He's approaching his 40s, and as terrifying as he is, I think he may have peaked. In the Gvozdyk fight, maybe before that. We saw him get knocked down. I believe it was by Callum Johnson. And in his last fight, he just didn't look good against a totally unknown. A guy named Dennis, I think. Dennis, something like that. A German guy. Totally unknown guy. And gave him a lot tougher time than I thought he should have. I think right now, Canelo versus Beterbiev, I'm putting my money on Canelo. I just got to do it. I just got to do it. Bivol, that's another interesting one. But we saw Bivol in his most recent fight, get pushed by a British fighter who was a good fighter on the domestic level over there, but not a world level guy. Although he showed he kind of was. I forgot the guy's name. Much respect to him, but he gave Bivol a good fight. So yes, I believe Canelo beats Beterbiev, beats Bivol. And look, this is what I'm gonna say now, right? I'm not guys, these guys don't pay my bills. If you know my personality, guys, look, who I care about are the FightersRep fighters. I want our guys to get all the opportunities. So if you guys ever want to sponsor, come to the event, whatever, let me know. Our next event is August 13th, and it's going to be absolute madness. I guarantee you the best fights you're ever going to watch in your life. It's just stand and bang. But my point is, I'm not a fanboy. These guys don't pay my bills. I tell it the way I think it is. I tell it the way I see it. If Canelo... Okay, this is what's going to happen. Canelo's going to fight Caleb Plant. I think Caleb Plant will put up a pretty good fight, but I think he gets beat. At that point, what's next for Canelo Alvarez? My brothers and sisters of Knucklehead Nation, at that point, we go to light heavyweight, baby. We go to light heavyweight. 175 pounds. And, after he conquers 168, which is his goal, he's going to go conquer 175. You heard it here first. And he's going to beat Artur Beterbiev. And he's going to beat Dimitri Bivol. And the other champ is Joe Smith. So are you meaning to tell me that Canelo Alvarez, who knocked out Sergey Kovalev and has looked absolutely just ridiculous this year. Do you guys mean to tell me, and, basically caved in Billy Joe Saunders' head, do you guys mean to tell me that he can't beat Artur Beterbiev, Dimitri Bivol, and Joe Smith? I'd line those guys up, probably a few months, one after the other, for Canelo Alvarez at this point. I think he'd get through it. I mean, it would definitely be tough. It would definitely be tough. I still think Beterbiev is scary. Bivol is scary. Joe Smith can be scary, but I think he's technically just a bit too sloppy for Canelo. I think Beterbiev, very strong, but if I think it was Callum Johnson is who knocked Beterbiev down. If Callum Johnson knocked you down, Canelo can knock your ass out. And like I said, Bivol in his last performance just... I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I'm telling you the way it is. I think Canelo's going to unify light heavyweight. I mean, I can't even make this shit up. I mean, people could say what they want about this guy. Is this guy going to unify 168 and then go unify 175? Come on, I got it. Listen, the Fez comes off for Canelo on my end, man. Listen, respect. Him and Floyd Mayweather, I take my fez off for them. Those are my brothers. I take the fez off for my brothers. Let me see here. But you can't buy it. It's for me. You don't buy it. If you do want to spend some money though, sponsor the fights. Sponsor the fighters. You want to write something off for your business, I'll advertise your business. And we'll help get these fighters paid, man. Or just tune into the pay-per-view. That's another way to help. Or get your FightersRep gear in the link below. That's another way to help. Subscribe. Join the channel. Hope you guys join. Let's see here. All Um, Loma is definitely not in his prime, but he was firing on all cylinders tonight. I need to check that fight out. I think Davis could catch Loma, but the question is, can Loma handle Davis's power? That's scary. Let's not forget, I mean, Linares dropped Loma, right? Loma's been hurt. Loma got hurt by Campbell. I think if Davis lands one of those shots to the body, it's a real problem. John Wick says, better be able to get knocked out. He's too old, but great boxer. Canelo's prime. So I agree with John, man. Mr. Flash U17 for Oye says, Loma will pick Tank apart. Also, Lopez will not give him a rematch. All them other guys going to move up and wait and avoid him till he retires. Bobby Cavan says, Tank power follows Tank to 140. Do you agree? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, nobody's done that to Barrios. And he dropped him tonight with some amazing punches. Kevin from Chicago says, Bivol needs that Mexican beef. Maya Abdullah says, Canelo gets better every fight. The only thing that can beat him is Father Time. But Canelo is still only 30, so he still has years of dominance left. I think you're right, Maya. The only thing that kind of detracts me, I guess, or gives me pause in completely agreeing with that statement is the fact that he's been boxing for such a long time. And even though he's 30 years old, in human years, he's like 50 in boxing years. You know what I mean? The guy's been boxing forever. That said, I mean, he hasn't been taking a lot of damage. At least not lately. Excuse me, he hasn't taken a lot of damage lately. So, I don't know. I mean, but, all those training camps, his dedication to the gym, to the sport, I mean, it's got to take a toll. It's got to take a toll, and they say he's been boxing since he was a teenager. So, it's got to take a toll, I wonder when Canelo's prime is, if we've seen it, has he still not reached it? I would imagine he's not even reached it yet. But, will it be fleeting? Will it last a long time till his 40s? Is he a Bernard Hopkins who'll continue to take care of himself into a ridiculous age and continue to be great? All this stuff remains to be seen. Let's see here. Canelo gets better every fight. Yeah, I already read that. John Oliver says, great fight, bad stoppage. The champ doesn't get a chance? Oh, come on. Come on, John. He was out on his feet, brother. You want the guy to get killed in there? Kevin from Chicago, Bivol destroys Canelo, outboxes all 12 rounds. I don't know about that, Kevin. I'm going to have to disagree with you there, Kevin. I want you to go watch Bivol's last fight. Kevin from Chicago, Kovalev was outboxing Canelo until the 11th at 40 years old. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but he wasn't really doing much. He was throwing a jab out there. The game, did anyone actually buy the fight? Which fight are we talking about, the game? Appreciate you being in here, brother. Hawker Mustang says, what is Tank Davis going to do now? I don't know. He needs to fight somebody with notoriety so we can, see what's going on. John Wick says, I always pay for the fights. I appreciate you, John. David Arvello says, all I'm saying is that I'm awaiting the return of the gladiator to combat sports, man. Horrible. You're a horrible person, David Arvello. By the way, big shout out, David Arvello, working down there in Miami for First Round Management. Fantastic company that manages, the likes of Jorge Masvidal and other famous fighters. I believe John Jones, maybe not anymore, not sure. But yeah, shout out David Arvello. Bobby Cavan says, Tank versus Lopez. I think that fight would be a great fight. I agree. But I think I got Lopez in that fight, man. I think Lopez is a better fighter. I don't know. That'd be an excellent fight. They're almost like, they're very similar. They're both explosive. They're both athletic. They both got big power. I just think T.O.'s a bit of a better technician, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Kevin from Chicago says, I watched Bivol last fight. He was in cruise control. Nah. I didn't think he looked that great in his last fight. I thought he was pushed by that guy. Is Tank Davis a big pay-per-view star now? You know, Tank Davis is got a following, man. I mean, I heard they sold out. They had damn near 17,000 people in the arena tonight. You know, Tank Davis, he's got a following. I mean, that is his adopted hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, is what they said. But, you know, to be able to sell 17,000 tickets on your own, and I'm sure a lot of, Mexican fans came out to watch Barrios and Davis as well. But, and there was, Erickson Lubin on the undercard with Banana, who, a friend was telling me probably needs to retire at this point. But, Davis sold out that arena by himself, I think. He's a big star in Atlanta. I think, that's the biggest... I think in the African American community, I think you got to say Tank Davis is the biggest star in boxing right now. I mean, I think so. I think he's the biggest draw in boxing with the African American contingent. Canelo, I would say, with the Mexican American contingent. Who else? And the other, big star in boxing for me is AJ. I mean, he's just absolutely ridiculous. But, that's my opinion. I don't know how many pay-per-views the guy's selling. Only, Leonard Ellerby and these guys will be able to tell you that. But he's definitely a star. Who got more power, Lopez or Davis? I think they both got a lot of power, man. Tank is a pay-per-view star. That crowd was going crazy for Tank. I agree, Maya. Dude, I couldn't agree more with Maya, man. Maya, you're on a roll today. Maya, I'm, salute. Salute to Maya, bro. David Arvelo says, I think Tank is an absolute hammer. It's just a shame that he keeps missing weight. Makes him a bit of a liability when it comes to big fights. Excuse me, in title fight. Did he miss weight for this fight? I don't think he missed weight for this fight. I think he used to. I think he, like I said earlier, I think his discipline is catching up with his talent, which is a must. He's almost like if Zab Judah would have lived up to his potential. I mean, Zab Judah did a good job, but I felt like Zab Judah could have done more, right? And he's got that ridiculous athleticism that Zab Judah had, although he's more of a power guy. Zab Judah was more like speedy and quick or whatever, but Tank is a power guy. You know what I mean? Also, mad props to my dog George Francis for being a learned dude and a G. The word contingent in that context is a great one. Very underutilized. I appreciate it. I didn't even realize I said contingent. Tank does have an exciting style, says Hawker Mustang. Maya Abdullah says, Canelo is the biggest star in boxing, followed by AJ. Yup. Tank is probably the biggest American star in boxing. Yup. So those are, those are probably the top three. I'm thinking Tyson Fury's probably up there. Maybe Deontay Wilder. I feel like Errol Spence. Is pretty big. Texas boy. I think the Charlos are probably headed up there a little bit. But I think Errol Spence is pretty big, Yeah. And, I will say I went to the Staples Center to watch Lomachenko in Los Angeles, and, man, that place was packed. So I feel like Lomachenko's got some pretty good star power, too, that people underestimate. But anyway, guys, hey, Bud Crawford's not as big as those other guys, but he's big, too. Right now, the biggest pay-per-view draw in boxing may not even be a real boxer, man. You're right about that. That's sad. Boxing is just waiting for a great promoter to come by and lift it up. As soon as Bob Arum, moves on, because he's really old. And I think, De La Hoya just doesn't seem to be able to, I don't know, figure it out the way he should. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Loma versus Gary Russell. What do you think? I mean, I think Loma beats him again. Can Bud Crawford move up and beat Charlo at 154? Yep. Yep, he can. Yep, he can. He could also get beat by Charlo. He could also get beat. Guys, I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, Fighters Rep, August 13th is coming, man. To hell with boxing, I'm telling you. You watch our fights on August 13th. You watch these fights I have in store for you. A lot of bad blood on the card. A lot of really high talented, most talented strikers you're ever going to see. There's no clinch. They stand and bang it out. There's none of this holding, wrestling. Nope. Unified rules, kickboxing, Fighters Rep. You're going to see the best strikers on earth go at it. And they're just going to have at it. Some of these guys don't like each other. Big beef between some of these teams, some of these guys. So if you're in the area, get your tickets. They're on sale right now at FightersRep.com. It's in the link below. And, or maybe it's not, but FightersRep.com. And if you can't make it, man, I ask that you guys just drop that $4.99. Watch the show. You can cancel afterwards. I hope you stay on. I hope you help me with this journey because we're going to be doing shows every couple months. We're putting out interviews and content like crazy so you can get to know these young fighters. I think you guys will love it, man. And obviously you have to pay for the live stream. But, you know, a couple weeks on from the live stream, we'll start uploading each fight individually because, you know, I believe in that being a great way to grow the sport and give these kids some shine. So that's all I got. Shout out to Bobby Cavan in Brooklyn, man. Much love to you guys. Appreciate you guys joining me, man. We'll see you tomorrow, man. We're going to be dropping more content. So I'll be here every day, and you guys definitely follow me on social media. Instagram's probably the best. And I have a personal one now, which is Fighters Rep Fez with an F-E-Z at the end. So if you want to contact me about something, you can send me a message. I look forward to seeing you guys.